Are you a professional pillow fighter? Or a 9-to-5 low-cost time travel agent? Or maybe real estate sales on Mars is your profession? It doesn't matter. Whatever it is you do, however complex or intricate, Monday.com can help you organize, orchestrate, and make it more efficient. Monday.com is the one centralized platform for everything work-related. And with Monday.com, work is just easier. Monday.com, for whatever you run. Go to Monday.com to learn more.
Welcome to the RuPaul's Drag Race Recap Show for Global All-Star Season 1, Episode 5, titled Boobie the Shequels. My name is Joe Batanz, and I'm joined, as always, by one duplicitous doll from All Perras Go to Heaven. Please say...
Dear God, she's figured out how to clone herself.
To Mrs. Christian Ochoa. Hello, Mrs. Christian Ochoa.
Mrs. Bitch, am I married?
Yeah, you're married to God.
Feels like it.
Yeah. How are you doing? Welcome here. Everyone, Robert had to go to Japan. For what reason, I don't know, but Robert had to go to Japan.
Girl, what is Robert doing in Japan? She's playing Pokemon and fucking Animal Crossing. That's all that bitch is doing.
Yeah.
I hope she does go to Nintendo World, actually, and I actually hope she brings me back a really cute Pokemon or something.
Did she promise you one?
No, I don't know, but now I'm gonna text him. What was I going to say? Well, hello, everyone. I don't know for many of you if you can tell the difference between my actual voice and my AI voice. It's not that far off. And I feel like I'm a regular on the show, more so than I am, thanks to AI Christian. But hey, girl, AI Christina. And
AI Christina.
The real X-Tion is in the house. What's good?
So Christian and I spoke a little bit before we came on the air. And one of
just between us girls.
Just between us girls. Well, that's true. I didn't even think about that. So just between Christian and I had a really long just between us girls session. We talked about what was going on in Christian's life. There
Girl, it was 30 minutes.
That's a long. Usually 15.
Oh.
So Christian just told you that there's a 30-minute episode of Just Between Us Girls. You can get that at patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia at the executive tier level and above. Or you can scroll up on Apple Podcasts and right there you can subscribe. And you remember, like on Patreon, you can do a free trial of executive and exclusive tier for 1 week. Go ahead and do that now. Patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. But other than that, on the phone, before Just Between Us Girls, Christian and I had a conversation and we made a pledge. We both kind of hinted what we thought about the episode. And Christian was worried that he was going to come on here. And I don't want to speak for you, Christian. What were you worried about?
Well, I mean, I think we should just go ahead because I was worried that I wasn't really going to like have much to talk about, but like it really, for not a good reason, gave me a lot of thoughts.
My hair is just so out of... I was going to get a haircut today. Here, let me ask you how you deal with this. Oh, anyway, we made a pledge not to be so negative. But,
oh, yeah, that too. Well, I don't know if I can keep our fucking promise, to be honest.
Which is so funny because every week Christian messages me and Robert and goes, you guys are a bunch of hateful bitches.
I'm like, do you bitches even like the show? Like,
know,
fuck. Like, give it up to someone else. Like, damn, you guys. Like...
This week, the library is open and the dolls take turns reading each other for filth. For this week's Maxi Challenge, the girls in groups will star in a different hybrid spoofs of the movie Barbie, but this time, the movies are called Boobie. In the end, Alyssa's team won, while Queen Kong was named the winner of the challenge. Meanwhile, Galavado and Eva LaQueen were placed in the bottom two. After a lip-sync battle for their lives, Galavado lived to see another day, while Eva LaQueen was asked to sashay away. Christian Ochoa, were the right queens in the bottom this week, and did the right queen win the lip-sync?
No and no.
Oh,
did the right queen win the lip sync? Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
But do I think that it was the right girls in the bottom? No. Did I think Queen Kong should have won? No.
Don't even get me started. Her team.
I know you really don't like her.
I don't like her. So you're okay. You know what's so funny is this is one of those challenges where like I don't even have anything bad to say. Everyone was fine. I didn't see a winner and I didn't see a loser. Everybody was fine. And so I don't know why Galavado and Eva La Queen were put in the bottom two, and I don't know why Queen Kong won. People online are very mad. They don't even feel that sketch should have won. I don't really have a strong opinion, though. I didn't think it was the strongest one. I probably would have given it to Frank and Boobie, if I'm being honest.
Same. I thought Tessa was way better. And actually, I thought Alyssa should have been in the bottom.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You thought Alyssa should have been in the bottom.
And I think the timing for this challenge is really funny because I listened to Race Chaser with Alaska and Willem, and right now they're finally covering, after years of anticipation, Alaska's All Stars Season 2. And they had just last week discussed the acting challenge, which Alyssa famously went home on that episode, right? Alaska sent her partner home for whatever happened to baby Jane and JJ or whatever. And girl, Alyssa did better on that challenge than in this one. So I think she should have definitely been in the bottom. I would have loved to see Alyssa stay over whoever else. I was disappointed in this episode because I thought the concept was really strong, and I thought the concepts for each skit were really strong. Post-production wise, I was like,
well, hold on. Let's get to that.
Fuck?
Yeah, let's get to that later. Right now we're just talking about the lip sync, which I'm going to say right now.
Disappointment
on both ends. I think Galavado got saved because she's cute and because there are more Mexicans and Spanish speakers that watch this show than Filipinos, honestly. But we'll get to that's my opinion. I don't have much of that. So why don't we do this? Why don't we take a break? Christian is busting at the seams to talk about this episode. We are going to talk about it right after this break.
Introducing Bluehost Cloud, ultra-fast WordPress hosting with 100% uptime. Want a website with unmatched power, speed, and control? Of course you do. And now you can have all three with Bluehost Cloud, the new web hosting plan from Bluehost. With 100% uptime and incredibly speedy load times, your WordPress websites will be dependable and lightning fast on a global scale. Plus, your sites can handle even the biggest traffic spikes without going down or lagging. And with Bluehost Cloud, you get 24/7 WordPress priority support, meaning you're connected to WordPress experts anytime you need them. Not to mention, you automatically get daily backups and world-class security. So, what are you waiting for? Get Bluehost Cloud today by visiting Bluehost.com. That's Bluehost.com.
And we are back. After the elimination, the girls congratulate Vanity Vane on surviving the lip sync. Vanity then takes the opportunity to read Alyssa's group as the Alyssa show. Later in a confessional, Vanity says she would have put Alyssa in the bottom. The next day, congrats to Kitty on her win and one more round of applause for Vanity's survival. Meanwhile, Nilenia and Queen Kong revisit the moment from last week's Untucked when it was the people versus Nilenia. Next, RuPaul entered the workroom for this week to announce this week's mini challenge. Ladies, the library is open. The girls take turns reading each other, but in the end, Kitty Scott Claus walks away to win the title. Walks away with the title. And then one more really quick thing. She announces the maxi challenge. The girls will star in a 3 Boobie movie Shequels. To break up into teams, they need to pull a Boobie doll out of Sebastian's big furry pink box. And the girls with the same colors are on the same team. And I put in here they are as follows, but why don't we stop here, talk about what's happening, then we'll get to the teams when we go to the workroom. All right, after the elimination, there is some talk and Vanities. They're like, oh, yay, Vanity, you survived and you sent home Miranda Lebrau. But Vanity takes this time to say that she didn't think that her team was the worst. She thought Alyssa's team was the worst. And then in a confessional, she says Alyssa should have been in the bottom. What do you think of that, Christian? Is that true? Is that right? What are your thoughts?
I think the Jurassic Park concept was really strong.
No. I'm talking about the previous episode.
Oh, the previous episode.
When they when they come in from the episode after the lip sync?
Yeah. I really can't stand Vanity Vane. I don't really care for her. I don't find her enjoyable to watch on screen, in or out of drag. And very underwhelming, in my opinion. The cast choices in general are so poor.
I think they're great because I'm keeping things positive.
Okay, well, I think they're awful.
No, I didn't watch. I didn't watch a lot of the foreign seasons. I've seen Queen Kong season. I've seen Kitty Scott Claus. I've seen all the ones that RuPaul was on. And I saw Galabado. I thought it was Mexico. But other than that, I haven't really seen the other ones.
Same, but I have seen pieces or clips, or I have been following some of the other queens. But anyways, that being said, I can't stand Vanity Vane. She's annoying.
Did you see the moment in Untucked last week when Nelenia had that Nelenia versus the cast in Untucked?
Yeah, she's annoying. She gives pick me down. She gives the fucking bitch in class who is trying so hard, tries the most. Hardcore pick me girl.
Nelenia.
I went to school with bitches like that. Believe it or not, they weren't accusing me of being the bully. They were accusing other people of being the bully, which typically do have that reputation, at least the ones that I went to school with. And even then I remember the teacher and myself being like, bitch, you're tripping. You're fucking tripping, girl.
Did you walk out of the room?
No, I didn't walk out of the room. Actually, the girl walked out of the room.
Really?
And she just was having a fucking moment. And I'm like, girl, don't make your fucking moment everybody else's problem.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Anyway, so Melania, I don't know. She's cracking under pressure. She's kind of annoying. She's very, her youth is kind of showing in a very poor, immature light, you know? So, yeah. And it's sad because I do like a lot of her looks. I do think she's a talented performer, but I can't like her. I can't enjoy her. I definitely don't want her to win. I find her very annoying when she's on screen.
You're talking about Nelenia.
Yeah. So.
Look, to go back to that earlier moment with Vanity saying that it was the Alyssa show. What show does Vanity think she's on? The whole fucking show is the Alyssa show. The whole show, Global All-Stars Season 1 is the Alyssa show. So it wasn't just that moment, yeah?
And you know what? The reason why I may take umbrage with Vanity Vane is because she makes these statements. She's the one from Sweden.
Yeah.
So it's her delivery is very Swedish fish. And it's so you have that going against you, right? Number two, you aren't giving us anything worth going over. You look like a bootleg Gaga in a bad way. And I love Lady Gaga and I love a Gaga reference, but there's so many other talented drag queens that do it justice. And you just look super dated and obnoxious. I just don't find her enjoyable at all. And so she's making these harsh statements and she's like, this is the Alyssa show. Well, bitch, make it your show, girl. You're not interesting enough. What are you giving us? Yeah. Except whining, complaining, and you're not serving any, you don't look different. You just look like a regular ass blonde drag queen. Nothing, nada que ver.
Yeah. I don't know where she gets that Alyssa should have been in the bottom, though. I don't know where she got that.
Yeah, I didn't see that for last week either.
Yeah, she was fine. Okay, then later...
Oh, she said it's because... I'm remembering. She said it's because she made the choreo super complicated and she led her team to fail. Which, I think the fucking performance was busted boots down, for sure. Yeah. It was horrible. But... it's not. I wouldn't say it's Alyssa's fault.
Yeah. Then we have the next day. They come in. It's just whatever banter. But then the whole argument with Nelenia comes up again. And then this Queen Kong, she's like, we dealt with you, and Kitty and I didn't get to talk about ourselves. And I was like,
Oh, that was crazy.
and I was like, this
We didn't get to
fucking Queen
discuss
Kong.
our critiques.
I'm a bitch. Who cares? First of all, they both got good critiques. What you didn't get a chance to brag about your good critiques. I don't like this Kitty Scott Claus, Christian. I don't like her, and I want her gone. And I have a fear she's going to make it all the way to the end, and I don't like it, and she's horrible. And by the way, Robert pointed this out last week, and they did it again. Alyssa started talking. She started going on a rant, and they interrupted her.
I noticed that too. Which that might be like a little fun thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. This time it made sense.
So
to do it.
The mini challenge, the library is open, the reading challenge. Did you have any thoughts here?
I thought Alyssa reading Pythia back was really funny. I really liked that. I love when a queen gets to do that, especially someone like Alyssa. Let's talk about Alyssa Edwards' workroom outfits, though, because she was wearing the fucking macaw dance jumpsuit with the fucking primary color fringe at the legs and the fucking parrot face. Like, she's wearing dance costumes in her boy look. I don't know. I think she looks kind of funny. And her look last week, I'm like, girl, what? Like, where are you going in this look? No, I don't. Okay. But the thing is, I do like boldness, and I will always, at the end of the day, I will always like encourage that, like individualism, if that's what you're feeling, over something basic. But like, I don't think it looks good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So,
anyways, I just wanted to get that out there.
No.
Vanity Vane's reads horrible. She came off super Swedish fish again, and that's not a compliment because the candy is shit and their delivery is, very just matter of fact.
Sure.
Kitty winning the reading challenge didn't really make sense to me. And then Alyssa's single good read at King Kong that they showed was really, Queen Kong was really funny. And then I thought Gala's reads were good. I thought they were like real reads.
Gala was good, and they were really real. They were real.
But they didn't really feature many reads at all. So I wonder what the challenge was. And then they just spent so much time on the transitional stuff, I feel like. Like, we didn't really get as much out of the reading challenge, which is a great, mini challenge. And then we didn't really get to see much of, like, the skits, I felt like. And the runway was pretty short. Not that there was anything to really admire on the runway.
Oh, very curious to hear your thing. I thought Tessa was really bad. That was really awkward. I 100% think Alyssa needed notes because she doesn't know the girls' names. I'm telling you right now, Alyssa does not know. Maybe Queen. She was the only one. And then,
I'm not gonna lie. Same though. Like, I kept calling them by their country. I had to
really?
like remind myself who they were. Yeah.
And then Eva did that stupid joke that they always do. Like, I'm such a nice girl. I can't believe I'm going to do this. Or, and then like, let's do this. I'm like, girl, we've done that joke. Then RuPaul announces the Maxi Challenge, and then she brings out. So the way they choose the teams for the Maxi Challenge is there's a box full of Barbie dolls that they call Boobie dolls, and the girls have to come and pick them, and they're wearing solid color dresses, primary color dresses, and then whatever Barbie dolls match in color, that's your team. Okay, and to have that, but I want to point something out here, and this is really directed at Robert when he hears they bring out this Sebastian, the pit crew guy. Robert does not like him at all. And I know you said you didn't notice him. I think he is so fucking hot. He is so hot. And I was like, this Robert is so wrong.
He's cute, but again, nothing that I would like really look twice at, to be honest. I only paid attention to him because you told me to.
All right. And then any thoughts on the Maxi Challenge? Well, let's get into it. So let's go over the teams. So they're doing a spoof of Jurassic Park. That one's called Jurassic Boobie. And that's with Kitty Scott Claus, Queen Kong, and Alyssa Edwards. Then we have Franken Boobie, and that's with Tessa Testicle, Vanity Vane, Galavado, and Eva LaQueen. And then Boobies of the Caribbean with Pythia, Nelenia, and Soa Demuse. The girls get to work on their individual scenes. On Franken Boobie, Vanity claims the role of Weird Boobie for herself. Gala also wants the same role and wins the role by winning a round of rock, paper, scissors and claims Weird Boobie over on Boobies of the Caribbean. So it feels the scene speaks to her as a native of the Caribbean. Later, Pythia explains motorboating to Nelenia. Finally, on Jurassic Boobie, the girls realize they've all been typecast in their roles. And then over on the green screen studio, the girls film their scenes for directors Michelle Visage and Jamal Sims. There's laughter all around, but no drama to speak of. Okay, let's start first with that workroom. Anything you want to say about the workroom, Christian Ochoa?
Not really, but what I do want to talk about, you just reminded me, I think Melania and Alyssa should have been in the bottom.
Oh, for this episode.
Mm-hmm. And which skit would you have wanted to be on? I would want to be on the Jurassic Boobie one.
Yeah, me too. I would have wanted to be on Jurassic Boobie. The other ones were too silly. Yeah.
Yeah, or Frank and Boobie. I didn't really care for Pirates of the Caribbean, but I never really liked that movie to begin with.
Like, we have a leg up because Soa Demuse is Jamaican. She's from the Caribbean.
Yeah, like, and what, like, girl? Pirates of the Caribbean's a fucking Disney movie, bitch. You think they're gonna do your fucking culture justice? No.
Do you think it's authentic? And by the way, I realize it's Caribbean, right? But for some reason, the ride is Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm sorry. I know it's just she's from the Caribbean, but the ride is Pirates of the Caribbean. No argument there. All right. What about? Oh, I love too that when the workroom, when they show Nelenia with Soa and Pythia, and Nelenia's like, I love them both so much. I'm like, bitch, you just got in a fight with Soa Demuse last week. But they seem to get along. In the studio filming, did you have anything to say about that with Jamal?
Did Jamal even do anything? No. I thought Michelle looked gorgeous. Gorgeous. As always, I do think that they gave really poor direction to some of the girls, like Melania telling her to play into it. I think she sounded worse, and I couldn't pick up what the fuck she was saying at all. So then being like, you talk like that, so lean in. It's like, that was a poor choice. Alyssa's accent was awful. Didn't understand what the fuck she was doing. I would have played that character way fucking differently. I thought Kitty was actually really good. I thought her team was bad. I thought Queen Kong was crazy. I thought Tessa was actually exceptional. And I thought their feedback for her also was kind of bad because I thought she should have leaned in to what she was doing. And I thought her physicality was like really good. I thought Gala did a really good job being weird Barbie.
Okay,
because
hold on, stop. You want to talk about this. So what we're going to do right now is we're just going to jump to the maxi challenge.
I mean, let's just talk about it. It's them filming. Right Nothing happened while they're filming.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So let's talk about it right here. So let's take it one by one. Frank and Boobie.
Tessa was the breakout star. I thought that Gala did a good job being weird Barbie because that was a strong reference made in the Barbie movie, right? Kristen Wiig's character. But it's like, this is the part that was a little confusing for me in general throughout the whole, like all the skits. Do we play into Barbie / Pirates, for example? Or do we, you know what I mean? Or both?
Yeah, it was kind of all over.
Yeah, it was very all over the place. And I thought some of the writing was good. I thought some of the acting was good. But like in post-production, like the final result for all of them was like, what? Like even the green screen of it all. I'm like, the editing of it was like, you're not making anyone shine. You're kind of just making everyone's efforts look bad.
Well, just talk about the filming really quickly.
So much potential. It just had so much potential, and I was so disappointed.
There was a weird moment during the filming, and I don't know if anyone else picked up on this, where Michelle, I think she's talking to Soa, I think it is. I can't remember who she's talking about. But they're talking about the boobies, okay? And the position of the boobies and whatnot. And they do this weird cut where you hear Michelle talking, but at the same time you hear her laughing in the background because they were splicing together two scenes. And it was messy. And I just wanted to point that out. I don't know if anybody else heard that really weird thing where Michelle's talking.
It does feel very messy. You're right. The whole production as a whole for this season feels very messy. Doesn't make sense to me. Like the editors, the stories that they're trying to tell. Yeah.
So I had trouble following you a little bit. So like, did you talk about Boobies of the Caribbean or did you only speak to
Boobies of the Caribbean were not cute to me. I thought they did really poor. Melania should have definitely been in the bottom for that. I thought Soa was like fine. I didn't think she was funny when they're like, I learned that you're really funny. I'm like, Was she? I don't think she was terrible, but yeah, I really. Who else was in their group? Soa, Melania, Pythia.
It was Pythia, Melania, and Soa.
Pythia, not memorable to me. Yeah, didn't really.
And
vibe.
what about finally Jurassic Boobie? Any big thoughts there?
I thought Kitty did as good as she could with her group. I thought Alyssa did awful. I thought Queen Kong, I thought that was a smart character choice. I didn't really like, I feel like she had really poor character direction though and development. Does that make sense? So, I mean, she just played into being like a big muscly bitch, like literally being the Kong. But I think maybe either go really hard into being Queen Kong, Barbie Kong. Like she could have done more. Especially because she's like a big bitch. She has big muscles, you know what I mean? Big arms, like, you know, so it's like, and you're on an island, you are an islander yourself, you know, like all her references about her heritage and the women that, so it's, I'm like, where did that go? Like, I felt like it kind of went out the window. So, yeah.
It's elimination day. The girls get ready for the runway. At the mirror, there's a totally not awkward moment among the girls about how drag is accepted in different parts of the world, and Pythia shares a personal story about her parents and their acceptance of her drag. Did you have any thoughts on this discussion here, the elimination day, Christian Ochoa?
I thought it was cool. I thought it was a very valid conversation, especially the queens that they chose to talk on the subject. I thought it was legit, and I can see a lot of people relating to Pythia because I can so see parents being like, you're so ungrateful. Like, you know what I mean? Immigrant parents tend to be like that and make everything about themselves, even though they say it's all in the name of sacrificing for my children. And then Galavaro definitely spoke a lot of truth. Like in Mexico City, you know, you go out to the clubs and there's drag queens everywhere, even at the underground techno scene. And all the places I went to, drag everywhere. It was super fucking cool, which was almost a year ago. And but Michoacan girl, yeah, right. Like, you know what I mean? And that's where she's from. So, yeah, I thought that was I wish they could have talked more into that, how it's very like regionally specific, because the US can kind of, even though it exists probably everywhere here in the US, especially post Drag Race, but like it is obviously banned or trying to get banned in certain places versus others. So I thought that was an interesting conversation that they should have actually lent more camera time to.
All right. Well, speaking of the runway, category is Brown Town. They were wearing different shades of brown. All right, Christian. So I'm going to go through the first one, and we're going to do the thing we used to do on Bring It to the Runway. I'm literally playing it, and I'm watching it right now. You have as long as the person is on the screen.
Yes. Okay, so Tessa Testicles, aka my twin. I think I like it. I don't love it. I don't understand, like, I kind of like that it's Fifth Element vibes. It gives me Jean-Paul Gaultier designing the costumes for Fifth Element. So I thought it was one of the better looks, but I still didn't love the look. Does that make sense?
Yes. All right, here we go. Next, we have Galavado, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was not good. I'm very tired of the Mad Max reference. I'm a little disappointed in this look a lot too, because she is good friends with Aviescu, which is a really great drag costume designer in Mexico, in Guadalajara. That's her girl. They do a lot of things together. And I'm like, girl, you couldn't have had your bitch make you something grand. Like, if there ever is a world where I go on Drag Race, that is the designer I would commission to make pretty much everything, because I think she has great costume design references and looks and materials. But like, yeah, I was like, why are we still referencing Mad Max and not elevating it, right? Especially, I mean, obviously the girls didn't know that All Stars, what All Stars did we just see? The charity one that literally was charitable. Season 9, yeah. Like, girl, some of those bitches really did it up, but the other ones also, I was like, ooh, girl, like, I'm just thinking of Chanel's look, and I'm like, I love Chanel, but I'm like, what the fuck were you wearing? What the fuck? Anyways, I'm just really sick and tired of that reference. And they need to really elevate it if they're going to go for that.
All right, next we have here Vanity
And it was
Vane.
falling off of her during the lip sync. Really quickly on Gala's look, it was falling off of her during the lip sync. It looked so bad. Anyways, Vanity Vane, so basic. I do not understand how she said she's referencing the winner of her season. Same silhouette, same this. Bitch, where? So basic. The mug looks good. The hair looks matronly on her. She looks very matronly. This is so basic. I don't know what she was thinking.
All right. Next, we have Eva LaQueen.
Eva LaQueen looks great. She looks stunning, but I don't really care for this either. Very pedestrian. This is definitely something you can buy. So I was disappointed in it, even though she looks exceptional. And I do like this queen. Did not like this look.
All right. Next, we have Pythia.
This is definitely the strongest look of the night. Strong concept, beautiful texture combinations, great nude illusion. I did like the nod at the bear face at the train. What I will say, though, is there is something about Pythia's mug that gives clown. It gives Crystal Method, House of Crystal Method. And if she would have just made this look just chic and fashion, I can accept the campiness of the bear head on the train more, but there's just an element to her aesthetic choices, and I want to say it's her makeup that cheapens her overall look, if that makes sense. It's too clowny.
Next, we have Millennia.
This is similar to how I feel with Pythia. This is probably my second favorite look. It's very difficult for me to appreciate this look because too campy. You didn't need all that in the face or the hair. I do like the hair. It makes sense for a violin. The concept is really strong. She looks like a fucking character out of Beauty and the Beast. But there's an element where it's not refined. She needs to hold back a little bit and make it more chic and more fashion. It's too costumey. Even though I do like the look, I think her styling choices were poor.
Next, we have Soa Demuse.
Another look I would consider in the top. This is very chic. It reminds me of Galliano's last collection at Margiela. Love the color story. Love the hair. Love the reference. She paid homage to, I think she said, the first drag queen, right? From France, or I don't know, in the world that's documented. But it's gorgeous. I thought she looked really good. She looks very chic. Love the colors on her skin. Thought it looks great.
Next, we have Alyssa Edwards from the United States.
Hate this. Steampunk is, I think, like, so why steampunk for her? You know what I mean? What is her point of view? What is she telling us? What is this story? Just steampunk has never died or steampunk isn't dead. Steampunk isn't good, in my opinion. I don't think steampunk is aesthetically pleasing. And I don't think... I mean, it's very polished. She looks great. Of course, she's never going to look like shit, but I hated it. I really didn't like it. I don't understand what applies to her. Kitty Scott Claus is the worst look of the night. The most Fashion Nova of all of them. I don't understand why she's not getting red for her looks. She has served the majority just pure pedestrian, and hated the look. Just so basic. Queen Kong. There's something very hodgepodgey and DIY about a lot of her drag.
Yes.
I want to like this more. Yes. I think she does look really good. I do think she has a strong point of view. I do like a lot of her references. I love when she does lean into when she says, I'm giving Beyonce from the shoulders up. I think she does have a really good mug. But like something about this look looks very hodgepodgey. There's something wrong about the proportion. Maybe where the waist is cinching. There's something that's just so off to me. And I wish she could cinch a little tighter just because her shoulders are so broad. And maybe her hip padding could be a little wider. I think usually she does serve really good body, but for whatever reason, this skirt, I think she should have dropped the waistline on the skirt more. She should have accentuated the hips with like that application that she has covering her cooch. She could have done two on the side to accentuate her hips, to make her waist look smaller and be more proportionate with her shoulders.
All right. On the main stage, Jurassic Boobie is named the best Shequel of the bunch, and Queen Kong is named the winner of the challenge. Over on Untucked, the girls discuss their critiques. Gala thinks she got good critiques, while Eva the Queen realizes she may be in the bottom and tearfully pledges to make it to the next episode. Later on the main stage, Galavado and Eva La Queen are placed in the bottom two, forcing them to face off in a lip-sync battle for their lives. The song, Take On Me by Aha. In the end, Galavado survived to see another day, while Eva La Queen was asked to sashay away. Did you have any final thoughts on the episode? Were any things you didn't get to say? Thoughts you had?
Yeah, I was very surprised by the girls who landed in the bottom. I also was very confused by the critiques. I was very confused by, you guys are all not safe or whatever if you were in the other groups. But then it's like, okay, then you should have also just applied that. Like, the winner can win and the other girls should have been. Like, everybody should have been at the bottom. I don't know. It just gave hardcore producer, like, tell them this. There's so much blatant favoritism towards the English-speaking country girls. Like, so much blatant favoritism. And guess what? They're not pulling their weight. But yeah, no, I was like very confused. And I felt like they did receive positive critiques, especially Gala. That's why I was very shocked to see her in the bottom. And it was another episode where it was very much like, oh, okay, so now the runway counts. You know, they just used a runway to justify their opinion. Sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't. So.
Okay. Anything else?
Yes. I just want to say, you guys, I'm sorry that this episode didn't give me anything really to admire that much, which I really wanted to like it. And that's why I understand that the general tone of Drag Race Recap for this season does feel kind of negative. And I don't want it to be like a criticism recap show, but I hope I was a little bit more positive and uplifting than Robert's very heavy attitude on this recap season. And I just think it's crazy that Robert, the contrast between you and Robert is that you are coming off way more positive than I think you're even trying to be or are. And Robert sounds so toxic.
Oh God, it's going to really hurt Robert.
And that's my bestie. Listen, I love her, but girl, it's the truth. Lean into your Libra rising, not your Scorpio self, okay?
I don't see that, but Robert, I don't see that.
Girl, it's there.
I don't see that.
And you can tell you don't see it. Trust me, the dynamic, I'm like, because girl, if I were you, I'd be like, okay, girl, let's elevate the vibe because I wouldn't want to hear this. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, girl, like I think I did a decent, I think I gave it a decent shot at not coming off as like negative as I felt about the episode. Okay. Love you, Robert.
All right, Christian, do you have any social media where people can find you?
Yes. Follow me on Instagram. Hit me up. It is at HELLA_Christian, spelled like the religion, Hella_Christian.
All right. Very good. All right. Well, Christian, that was really good. That's going to do it for this week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Recap. Be sure to join us next week. I think Robert's back next week. And every week as we continue to discuss, dissect, and deconstruct each brand new episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Global All-Stars Season 1. So, for Christian Ochoa and myself,
sashay away, doll.
Thank you for listening to Drag Race Recap. Have something to say? Leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/afterthoughtmedia. You can also email us at dragracerecap@afterthought.media. For more Drag Race and LGBTQ content, support us over at patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. This podcast was produced by Sabrina Vadabancourt. You can follow Robert Mata on Instagram at RAWB54. Follow Joe Batance on Instagram at Joe Batance. Special thanks to these expensive tier Patreon supporters: April Pacheco, Astute Girl, Brad Coley, Derek Byers, Doofus Maximus, E. Smith, Effie Wap, Emma, Phil Skit Pony, Flying Suki, Humble Pie, J. Thomas Plank, Kathy Zender, Lauren Eckert, Lucy Carrasco, Luke Stamen, Mary S., Mike Yeager, Nikki Baker, Mickey Pettit, Poppy Woods, We've Gotta Go Edita, Robert NYC, Sarah Yu, Runner Brandon, Tom Bombs, Traby Cosmos, and Troy Anderson. Drag Race Recap is an Afterthought Media podcast.